welcome to Life and Travel with Courtney. We have traveled up to St. Louis and we are at the St. Louis Zoo. Sorry, I cannot talk today. And we're about to watch the sea lion show. Should be starting in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Yep, here he comes.
right here at the St. Louis Zoo, and he's been doing shows for quite some time. So throughout our show today, you're going to see a wide variety of very impressive behaviors from Robbie. And some of you in the audience may be wondering how we train all of these behaviors. Well, here at the zoo, we use something called positive reinforcement. So what that means is we reward good and correct behavior. Anytime one of our animals does something that we're looking for, we're going to follow that behavior up with something our animals find reinforcing or rewarding in return. What do you all think is reinforcing for a sea lion? Fish, absolutely. There's a lot of fish flying through the air today. Now, if our animals do something that isn't quite right, that's okay. We're simply going to pause for a couple seconds, move on, maybe go back to that misbehavior a little bit later with hopefully some more information to help our animals succeed. Now, there are several very important reasons why we do train, so we'd like to take the time to share some of those reasons with you all right now. Now, the first reason that we're going to talk about is actually the most important. It's for what we call husbandry purposes. Now, husbandry is a big fancy word, but essentially all it means are medical behaviors. Behaviors that allow our animals to be active participants in their own health care. So when you all go to the doctor, you're able to voluntarily show off different parts of your body, and we can train our animals to do the same thing here. So Robbie is able to lift up his slippers so we can get a good look at the underside, check them over very closely, making sure he is in tip-top shape. And of course, we want to make sure we're getting a full view of our entire animal's bodies, checking them over very closely. So, Robbie is also trained for various layouts, or what we call body positions here. This first one's called a dorsal. All Robbie has to do is lay down, hold still, and Hannah can get a good look at the top half of his body, checking him over for any cuts, breaks, abrasions, anything that may look a little bit differently. We are able to address very promptly with our vet staff, because we work with our animals so closely throughout the day. Our animals are also trained for other husbandry behaviors, including voluntary eye drops. So, believe it or not, Robbie can hang out and hold still, keep his eyes nice and wide open, and Hannah can put some drops into his eye. Now, pinnipeds like us can develop eye problems as they get a little bit older, so this is something we train proactively with all of our animals, and we are able to transition to a medicated solution very easily, and the need arises because it is something our animals are already comfortable with. And then, of course, oral hygiene is just as important for our animals as it is for you and I. So, our animals are also trained to open their mouths so we can get a good look at their teeth, check out their gums. Like I said, it's just as important for them as it is for you and I. And if you look closely, you may notice that Robbie's teeth are dark in color. Rest assured, those are perfectly healthy California sea lion teeth. They have a bacteria that coats their teeth, creating that dark color that you're seeing. So, believe it or not, we actually do brush Robbie's teeth and provide a mouth rinse with that help of that open mouth behavior. Now, I know those husbandry behaviors may not be the most exciting behaviors to watch, but in reality, they are the most important types of behaviors that we train, because here at the St. Louis Zoo, we are dedicated to caring for our animals. Let's hear it for Robbie, everybody. So we train for husbandry purposes, but there are other reasons why we do train as well. We also train for mental stimulation. Now, as you can imagine, training in and of itself is very mentally stimulating. But we do have some behaviors that require a little bit of a different type of thinking. These are what we call cognitive behaviors. We're going to show off one of these right now. It's one of my favorites. It's called shape discrimination. Now, we are home to 11 animals here at Sea Lion Sound, and all of our animals have been assigned their own individual shape. So, Robbie's shape, that Hannah is showing off to all of you, is a star. And like I said, he's been trained to recognize it. So whenever he sees it, he should go to it, touching and holding his nose to it, wherever it may be, a little bit like this. But of course, I did mention that this behavior requires a little bit of a different type of thinking. So what we're able to do is actually introduce other shapes into the mix. We're going to grab onto a second shape, this time an anchor, and we're going to hold that anchor up in addition to Robbie's star. The goal of this behavior is that he comes out of the water, sees both shapes, and ultimately picks his star by touching and holding his nose to it. A little bit like that. So pretty impressive, but a big part of our job as trainers is changing things up. So we're constantly making our animals' lives variable. So what we're going to do right now is change the location of the star. This time, Hannah's going to place it in her left hand. And we're going to ask Robbie to truly look at the series of shapes, and he can't just remember what he previously did. He has to find that star in a new location. Exactly like that. animals here, so we have plenty of shapes that we're able to test our animals up against. We're going to change out that anchor shape for a nice bow tie shape. Once more, proving Robbie's ability to discriminate between shapes, picking out that star, hopefully each and every time. Let's hear it for this smart sea lion, everybody.
How does he always get it right?
So we train for husbandry purposes. We train for mental stimulation, but we also train for physical stimulation as well. Just like exercise is important for you and I, it's also important for our animals to stay active in order to stay healthy. So we can use our training sessions as an opportunity to promote exercise. As you'll see, we have a wide variety of behaviors to encourage our animals to get active, to stay moving, get their heart rates up, their blood pumping, all things that are going to be very beneficial for their well-being. But of course, just like you and I, some of their workouts are a little bit more intense. So we're going to see if we can run Robbie through a couple of these behaviors right now. This first one is going to require Robbie to utilize his strong front flippers to support all of his body weight as he holds it up in the air with the help of those front flippers. Check it out. Now Robbie is a very large sea lion, as I'm sure you all have noticed, and right now he weighs in at about 747 pounds. So as you can imagine, that is definitely quite a bit of a workout for the big guy. Now, one of my favorite things about sea lions is that they're agile, not just on land, but also in the water. So we can actually promote exercise in both locations. We just saw a little bit of a land workout, but we're going to ask Robbie to utilize his front flippers in a different way during his final workout behavior for you all. He is going to climb to the highest point of our stage and then use his front flippers to hopefully propel himself up and out of the water, showing you just how high a California sea lion can leap up and out of the air. Now, just like me, sometimes it takes me a little bit to warm up to get ready for my workout, and I think that's what's going on with Robbie right now. So, let's see if we can help him out a little bit. Let's see if we can give him a little bit of encouragement as he resets and tries one more time to see if he'll show off this workout behavior for you all. Alright, it looks like he is hopefully off to the races. I'm going to show you just how high a California sea lion will leap up and out of the water. So as you can see, training is very important, and overall it does allow us to take the best possible care of our animals here at the zoo. Now with that, unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of Robbie's portion of the show. But don't worry, because in just a few moments, a second sea lion superstar is going to be out here to finish out our show today. So right now, your job is very easy. First of all, everyone say goodbye to Robbie. Sit back, relax, and we will be right back. Alright, well it looks like Robbie is having so much fun out here that he is taking an extra second to leave, but this is a really good opportunity for us to talk about that positive reinforcement training. So as you can see, Robbie chose to not leave stage whenever Hannah asked him to. Hannah kind of paused for a couple seconds to let him know that wasn't exactly what we were looking for, and then she reset him with the hopes of kind of getting him back on a good positive note. And then now we're going to maybe try again to see if he's going to go back behind the scenes to let us continue on with our show for him today. So this is a really, really great glimpse at positive reinforcement in action. Now I did mention that Robbie is a male California sea lion that weighs 747 pounds. So what that means is Hannah and I can't force him to do anything he doesn't want to do. And that's okay. Because what we're going to do is we're going to try to work with Robbie and see if we can actually just probably give him a short break. What I'm going to ask Hannah to do is kind of reset Robbie and then kind of give him a break to let him know we're not quite going to continue on at this moment. Hannah's going to probably go behind the scenes and take a break from Robbie. Sometimes you just have to walk away and give him a second. And then we're going to come back in just a moment and hopefully try it again really quickly. So, hang on for 1 second. Like I said, this is training in action, people. So Hannah went behind the scenes. I'm going to exit as well. And we are going to come back in just one moment. Let Robbie swim. Continue to watch introduction, and we'll be back briefly.
Like, where did they go? Where'd they go? Where'd my food go? See, we can see.
That was a great glimpse at positive reinforcement training in action. Now, one of the small differences that you may have noticed is that we actually switched trainers in order to bring Robbie inside. Now, like I said, it's important for our animals to have variable days and lives, so sometimes we'll change the context of the training session in order to get back on a positive note, and that's exactly what we did right now. And in this case, it did help Robbie go inside. So let's hear it for the big guy. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. And that means we can continue on with our sea lion show. Who's having fun out there? All right, that's exactly what we want to hear. Now, in just a few moments, we're going to be back out here with a second sea lion superstar to finish out your show today. But it is going to be one of our female California sea lions. And you may notice that she looks a little bit different than Robbie. Male California sea lions typically weigh anywhere from about 400 all the way up to about 800 pounds, whereas females typically weigh anywhere from 150 to 250 pounds. So that brings us to some more introductions. We've got a new trainer out here. Everyone say hello to Anna. And our female California sea lion out here today is Dixie. Everybody say hi, Dixie. She says hi. Now, Dixie is a 15-year-old female California sea lion. And that's right, I did say Dixie is a sea lion. As a sea lion, Dixie has several adaptations that help her survive and also thrive in her environment. So we're going to see if Dixie can help us talk about some of these adaptations today. Now, throughout our show so far, you may have noticed that our sea lions really don't miss any fish that's tossed their way. And that's because they have incredible eyesight. They can see extremely well both above and also under the water. So we're going to put Dixie's eyesight to the test a little bit for you all right now. Anna is going to toss out some objects into the water in front of us. And then in just a few moments, we're going to send her on a sea lion scavenger hunt. She's going to have to use her amazing eyesight to locate all of these objects and then bring them back to Anna. Some are sinking, some are floating, but I think she's up for the challenge. Let's see how she does.
Very good. Yay. Two more to go. She looks like you a muggy kind of
All right, excellent job, Dixie. She was able to successfully complete our scavenger hunt by locating all of those objects and bringing them back to Anna. Nice work. So that eyesight is truly incredible and does allow California sea lions to see extremely well both above and also below the water, which is important because sometimes they do have to watch out for specific challenges in their environment. And we're going to talk about one of these challenges right now. Unfortunately, though, it isn't a natural challenge. It actually affects animals all over the world. Litter is a major issue for animals everywhere. And in our world's oceans, single-use plastics are a big problem. Now, single-use plastics, they're great products, but when they end up in the wrong spot, they take a long time to break down. Animals can ingest them by mistake or become entangled in them. So, Dixie here is going to show you all a very simple action you can choose to take in your own lives. It's going to have a big impact on animals all over the world, including sea lions. When you have to use those single-use plastics, make sure you dispose of them in the proper place, which is, of course, as Dixie is demonstrating, going to be all the way in the recycle bin. You can also choose to reduce your plastic consumption. You can find reusable alternatives. You can even reuse your single-use plastics in creative ways, just like we use some of our own right now in our show program. But at the end of the day, your actions do matter no matter how near or far you are from the ocean. So in the future, remember your new best friend Dixie and choose to recycle when you have the opportunity. So that eyesight is a really important adaptation for a sea lion as they navigate their environment. But they do have another adaptation that aids them when they're trying to navigate their environment, whether it be on land or in the water. And it's going to be a sea lion's two very large and very powerful front flippers. They do have one on each side of their body, as you may have noticed throughout our show so far. You can find California sea lions anywhere from British Columbia, Canada, all the way down to Baja, California. So of course they're very well built for life on that rocky west coast. You'll notice that Dixie has no trouble moving along on land whatsoever with the help of those front flippers. But we're going to see if she can take it up a notch, as she shows you just how easily she can navigate the rocky shores by climbing some rocks up here in our arena. As you see, as a little bit closer couple of you, you may notice that as a sea lion, she is able to rotate her rear flippers, picking her chest up and off the ground and rocking on all fours. That's going to be a characteristic of a California sea lion. In addition, while Dixie's closer to you, check out her front flippers. They're a nice rubbery texture that is going to protect her as she's walking along on those particular surfaces, much like a hiking boot. They protect your feet when you're going for a hike or a walk in a little bit of rougher terrain. However, the rest of Dixie's body is covered in fur, although, like I said, those front flippers are going to be a nice rubbery texture. Fur is going to be all over the rest of her body, as she is a marine mammal, so mammals are an animal that does have fur. So climbing is just one of the ways that California sea lions can utilize their front flippers. They can also utilize them in the water. Sea lions utilize their front flippers almost like a bird flapping its wings. They can reach top speeds of 20 to 25 miles per hour in short bursts, and we're going to see if Dixie can show off just how easily a California sea lion can use their front flippers to leap up and out of the water. Check it out. An incredible demonstration of the ability of those front flippers in action. That's truly one of my favorite behaviors to watch, as it does show the grace and the agility of the California sea lion in that incredible type of environment. The California sea lions also have a very long and a very slender neck. Their neck is actually also really flexible. They lack collarbones like you and I, so they're able to move their necks in all sorts of crazy directions. Up and down, side to side, back and forth, and even like this. Whoa, crazy, am I right? Definitely strange to look at, but it's really helpful for a California sea lion. As they're swimming quickly through the water, they're able to make very tight turns, using their neck to bring their head alongside them, grabbing as much fish as possible, as they never quite know when their next meal is going to come out. But here at Sea Lion Sound, Dixie has no hunting to do, so instead, we're going to ask her to showcase the flexibility of her neck with one of my favorite behaviors. Dixie is going to use her neck to toss out some frisbees into the audience. So heads up, these frisbees are heading out in your direction. I will give you a word of warning before we get started. We have no idea where these frisbees are going to go, and I will be honest, sometimes they come at you pretty fast. So, heads up everyone, if you're ready to catch or potentially block a frisbee. Let's have some fun and see Dixie's flexible neck in action. wrap up our sea lion show today. But before Dixie's grand finale, I do just have a really quick announcement. I just want to let you all know there are 3 exits in this arena. One on the left-hand side of the arena, one on the right-hand side of the arena, and one at the top of the arena steps. So feel free to utilize any of our exits as you leave today to enjoy the rest of your visit with us at the zoo. Now, as promised, Dixie is going to show off one last time. She is headed up to the highest point of our stage to showcase the grace and agility of the California sea lion once more. You all have been fantastic. Robbie, Hannah, Dixie, and Anna all did an excellent job. Let's hear it for one more time, everybody. We want to thank you all so much for joining us here at our Sea Lion Show at the St. Louis Zoo. Your support allows for us to take care of animals not only just here, but also in the wild. Everyone, please enjoy the rest of this beautiful day here at the St. Louis Zoo. Bye, everyone.
I wanted to get a frisbee.
All right, guys.
Baby, listen, I sit down here.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Sea Lion show. We will be heading out here, and be sure to join us Thursday for a live stream back at Silver Dollar City. And Saturday, hopefully, we will be live at Silver Dollar City for the new fireworks show, firework and drone show. You guys have a great week. Until then.